Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going deep into California history.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, using excerpts from the teacherprep.com CSET study guide for kind of like our roadmap.
Excellent source.
So whether you're prepping for an exam or just like curious about the Golden State or maybe just looking for a fresh perspective, this deep dive is for you.
I think we've got something for everybody here.
We're going to uncover how California transformed, from a land of over 100 distinct Native American tribes to the global powerhouse it is today.
Yeah, that's a huge transformation.
So get ready for some surprising facts and maybe even a few aha moments along the way.
I love those.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's start with the lay of the land.
Yeah.
I'm picturing those like iconic California landscapes, towering mountains, fertile valleys, and that like epic coastline.
Absolutely.
The study guide really emphasizes how geography played a crucial role in shaping California's destiny, almost like a hidden hand guiding events.
It's more than just a pretty backdrop,
Right.
It really is. Think about those majestic Sierra Nevada mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Before modern roads, they were a formidable barrier, influencing migration routes, and even where people chose to settle.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to cross those peaks on foot or horseback?
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about a challenging journey.
I know. It's amazing to think about how something as simple as a mountain range could have such a profound impact on the course of history.
Right.
But wouldn't those geographical barriers also lead to like isolated communities?
Oh, for sure.
And how did that shape California's cultural development?
Well, because of these natural barriers, California was home to an incredible diversity of Native American cultures before European contact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're talking over 100 distinct tribes, each with its own language, customs, and traditions.
Wow, over 100.
A level of cultural richness rarely seen elsewhere.
That number blows my mind.
Yeah.
And they weren't all living the same way.
Oh, of course not.
I'm thinking about the Chumash people, the study guide mentions.
Yeah.
Masters of ocean navigation who built those incredible plank canoes called tomols.
Yeah, the Tomals.
That's a stark contrast to, say, the Miwok, who lived inland and relied on acorns as a staple food.
Very different lifestyle.
It really highlights how geography influenced their ways of life.
Absolutely. The Chumash living along the coast developed remarkable skills in ocean navigation, fishing, and trade.
Makes sense.
While the Miwok further inland had a deep understanding of their environment, particularly when it came to harvesting and processing acorns.
Yeah,
And these are just two examples out of so many.
right.
It's a reminder that California's story didn't start with the arrival of Europeans.
Right.
There were already centuries of history and vibrant cultures thriving here.
So we've got this incredible tapestry of Native American cultures shaped by California's diverse geography.
Yeah,
But then things start to change dramatically with the arrival of the Spanish in the 18th century.
right. This is where the story takes a turn.
Oh.
The Spanish came with dreams of expanding their empire and spreading Christianity, establishing missions as their key tool to achieve those goals. But if we look beyond the religious aspect, we see how missions evolved into powerful economic engines,
Interest.
shaping California's land ownership and agricultural future.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not just about converting people.
No.
It's about reshaping the land and the economy. The study guide mentions that the mission's goals shifted over time, from a primary focus on religious conversion to economic pursuits, like developing agriculture and securing resources for the Spanish crown.
Right.
So how did this shift affect the Native Americans who already called California home?
The mission system had a profound and complex impact on Native American populations.
I bet.
While some adapted to mission life, many others faced immense hardship.
Yeah.
They were often forced to labor on mission lands, adopt new religious practices, and tragically, their populations were decimated by European diseases.
It's a reminder that this period of California history, while significant in shaping the state we know today, was also a time of great upheaval and cultural clash. And then, just as the mission system is reaching its peak, there's another major shift in power. Spain loses its grip on California, and Mexico takes control in 1821.
That's right. With Mexican independence, California became a Mexican territory.
Okay.
This transition brought about significant changes, particularly the secularization of the missions.
What does that mean?
This is where the Mexican government sought to reduce the power of the church and redistribute mission lands.
Wow.
Can you imagine the ripple effects of such a drastic change?
Well, for one, it seems like it would have a huge impact on the Californios, those elite Mexican citizens who had benefited from the mission system.
Absolutely.
It must have been a time of uncertainty and transition for them as well as for Native
For
Americans.
sure.
But what happened to those mission lands?
Yeah.
Did they just sit empty?
Not at all. The secularization of the missions paved the way for the rise of the rancho system. This is where large land grants were awarded to Mexican citizens, creating a new class of wealthy landowners, the Californios, who focused primarily on cattle ranching. The hide and tallow trade flourished, connecting California to international markets in a new way.
So we've gone from Native American tribes adapting to diverse environments to the Spanish mission system reshaping the land and economy, and now to Mexican rancheros ruling vast tracts of land.
Yeah.
It's like watching a dynamic play unfold, with each act bringing new characters and conflicts to the stage.
And as we move into the next act, the stage is set for a major showdown. The war between Mexico and the United States.
I will.
This conflict will have profound and lasting consequences for California, paving the way for the gold rush and the transformation of the state into a global powerhouse.
Wow,
But that's a story for part 2 of our deep dive.
I can't wait. Welcome back to our deep dive into California history. When we left off, tensions were brewing between Mexico and the United States, and the concept of manifest destiny was casting a long shadow over California.
Yes. Manifest destiny, that belief that it was America's God-given right to expand westward.
Right.
It was a powerful idea, but also a controversial one used to justify both progress and, let's be honest, land grabs.
It definitely had a huge impact on California. The Mexican-American War ended in 1848 with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, and California became part of the United States.
Right.
It's fascinating how this transfer of power played out on the ground, especially for the Californios, those wealthy landowners who had enjoyed a privileged position under Mexican rule.
Yeah, they suddenly found themselves navigating a new political and social landscape. Imagine the uncertainty and anxiety they must have felt as their world shifted beneath them. And for Native Americans already facing displacement and hardship, the situation became even more precarious under American policies.
And then, just as these tensions are settling, gold is discovered at Sutter's Mill in 1848.
Talk about a game changer.
You probably know about the gold rush's impact on California's population, but consider this. It wasn't just about the gold itself. The gold rush had a ripple effect on the environment, the economy, and even California's political future.
Absolutely. The gold rush really throws California onto the world stage. Boom towns spring up almost overnight, filled with fortune seekers from all corners of the globe.
Wow.
It's a period of incredible dynamism and change, but as you say, it's not just about striking it rich. There's a darker side to this story, too.
The study guide doesn't shy away from that. It paints a picture of hardship and exploitation alongside the tales of newfound wealth. Native Americans are pushed off their ancestral lands, and Mexican Californians often lose their property rights. It seems like the gold rush, while bringing opportunity for some, exacerbated existing inequalities for others.
That's an important observation. The gold rush magnified social tensions and inequalities. The influx of newcomers led to increased discrimination against minority groups, particularly Chinese immigrants who came to work on the railroads and in the mines. They faced prejudice, violence, and exclusionary laws.
So the gold rush really is this double-edged sword. It brings economic growth and opportunity, but at a steep cost for many.
And the environmental consequences are huge, too, right? I'm thinking about the mining techniques used back then, like hydraulic mining.
Oh, absolutely. Hydraulic mining was devastating to the environment. Imagine blasting away entire hillsides with high-pressure water cannons. It caused deforestation, erosion, and polluted rivers and streams with sediment. It's a stark reminder that progress often comes with unintended consequences.
But even with these downsides, the gold rush had a lasting impact on California's trajectory. It accelerated California's statehood, right?
Exactly. California becomes the 31st state in 1850, just a couple of years after the gold rush begins.
Wow.
That newfound statehood gives California a greater voice on the national stage and fuels its political and economic ambitions.
And while the gold eventually ran out, the gold rush laid the groundwork for California's future economic diversification.
It spurred the development of agriculture, commerce, and manufacturing, setting the stage for the state's eventual rise as a global economic powerhouse. But we can't talk about California's rise without talking about its unique constitution. The study guide points out that it's not just a copy and paste of the U.S. Constitution.
It's much more than that. California's constitution is longer, more detailed, and it dives deep into specific policy areas that the U.S. Constitution leaves to the states.
Oh, interesting.
It tackles issues like water rights, environmental protection, and even workers' rights.
It sounds like Californians wanted to be very specific about how their state would be governed, almost like they were creating a detailed instruction manual. But one thing that really stood out to me was California's commitment to direct democracy.
Ah, yes,
You
that's
know,
a key distinction. California's constitution empowers its citizens to have a more direct say in lawmaking through initiatives, referendums, and recalls.
okay, so walk me through those. I know an initiative allows citizens to propose laws and put them on the ballot for a statewide vote, but what about a referendum? Is that similar?
A referendum is a bit different. It gives voters the power to approve or reject laws that have already been passed by the legislature.
So the people have the final say.
It's a way for the people to double-check the decisions made by their elected officials.
I like that. And then there's the recall, which I always find fascinating, that allows voters to remove an elected official from office before their term is up. It's like a direct vote of no confidence.
Exactly. These tools of direct democracy give Californians a unique level of control over their government. It's a reflection of the state's progressive spirit and its belief in citizen participation.
But it's not just about the laws and institutions. California's identity has been shaped by wave after wave of immigration, right?
Immigration is woven into the very fabric of California's history. From the gold rush to the present day, people from all over the world have flocked to the Golden State seeking opportunity, escaping hardship, or simply drawn to its allure.
The study guide talks about the diversity of cultures that have made their mark on California.
Yeah.
It's not just about food, music, and festivals, although those are certainly delicious and vibrant aspects of California life. It's about the contributions immigrants have made to the state's economy, social fabric, and political landscape.
It's fascinating to trace those contributions. Take the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in the late 19th century. A large wave of Chinese immigrants played a vital role in its construction. And throughout the 20th century, we see waves of immigration from Mexico, Central America, and Asia, driven by a desire for economic opportunity, fleeing political instability, or seeking family reunification.
Each wave brought its own set of challenges and contributions, right? Enriching California's cultural tapestry while also raising important questions about integration, resource allocation, and social equity.
Absolutely. And it's important to acknowledge that California's history with immigration is complex and at times fraught with tension. We've seen periods of welcoming inclusivity, but also times of exclusion and discrimination.
Laws like the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 and the Japanese internment during World War II are stark reminders of the darker chapters in California's history. They show how fear and prejudice can lead to injustice. But we also see progress with policies like the California Dream Act, which allows undocumented students who meet certain criteria to qualify for in-state tuition at public colleges and universities.
It's a constant push and pull, a reflection of the ongoing national conversation about immigration.
It really makes you think about what it means to be a Californian and how the state grapples with these complex issues of identity, belonging, and opportunity.
And speaking of opportunity, we can't overlook how California transformed itself into an economic powerhouse with a diverse portfolio of industries. It's not all about gold anymore.
Right. California has evolved into this economic dynamo with sectors ranging from agriculture and entertainment to technology and international trade. It's like a microcosm of the global economy, all happening within one state. But let's start with the industries that have been there from the beginning. Mining and agriculture.
Mining played a critical role in California's early development, but as you mentioned, it's not just about gold anymore. The state extracts other valuable minerals like boron and sodium carbonate, which are essential for various industrial applications.
And agriculture continues to be a major player. California remains the nation's leading producer of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and countless other crops. But these industries face modern challenges, right? I'm thinking about water scarcity, sustainability concerns, and evolving labor markets.
You're hitting on some key issues. Those are challenges that California is actively grappling with. It's a reminder that even in a state known for its abundance and innovation, there are limits to what we can control, especially when it comes to nature.